Yo, check it out, I gotta speak the truth about the hardest working small channel in the crypto booth.
Welcome back to the CryptoFather channel. I am the CryptoFather. Today is the 8th of May, and in today's video I'll be talking about a narrative that not too many channels seem to be talking about. It's out there, it's been around for a while, but it doesn't seem to be on the lips of the mainstream media or most of crypto YouTubers, I think. But it is a very important one, so make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, stick around till the very end so you don't miss any of the details. Crypto YouTubers are always talking about the next narrative because that's the place where the most money is made. If you're able to figure out the next narrative and invest into the projects that support that narrative, then you stand to make massive gains. I've seen YouTubers talk about AI and meme coins, and those seem to be the two most talked about narratives so far right now. As a matter of fact, if you go into Google and type in what is the next narrative, according to transact.com, artificial intelligence tokens are a significant narrative for trading and investing in 2024. CoinGecko even released a short article listing the 12 top narratives of 2024, and some of the main ones are things like meme coins and liquid restaking tokens, liquid staking derivatives, blockchain modularity, and some other layer based tokens. Layer 1 tokens like Silencio, Sui, layer 2 tokens, optimistic rollups, Arbitrum, Optimism base layer 2s, ZK rollups, ZK Sync Era, Polygon, ZK EVM, Scroll, Tyco, Bitcoin layer 2s, BRC20 tokens, Runes ordinals. And these seem to be very specific to actually specific tokens. And a lot of channels talk about all of these things quite a bit. One thing that most channels do not seem to be talking about is DePin. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks, and I believe that this is a major one. It's been here for a while, but it hasn't been spoken about as much as I think it should be. It's the new gig economy on the blockchain. Everybody's talking about what is the use of blockchain, and most projects, the way my friend versed it, and I think a lot of people talk about blockchain and crypto, is the greater fool's theory. Most people are in the blockchain, in the crypto, for the gains. We buy tokens and hope that we can sell it later for gains. Nobody really cares much about the tech. And I think DePin projects are where tech comes into play and where blockchain becomes useful in the real world. DePin refers to decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which use blockchains and token rewards to develop infrastructure in the physical world across different fields such as wireless connectivity, geospatial mapping, mobility, health, energy, and more. The goal of DePin is to create resource-efficient physical infrastructure through incentivizing providers to commit their physical resources to a decentralized network. The DePin then makes these resources available to users who are looking for cheaper service charges relative to centralized facilities, and the network generates revenue through fees paid to the users. It's basically providing access to hardware in exchange for cryptocurrencies. It's like having a tractor and lending it out to somebody to use on the field for a certain fee. Companies have been doing this for ages now in the form of contractual work. Big companies that launch big projects in the field of constructions, for example, will hire out smaller companies with the necessary equipment in order to fulfill the necessary work that needs to be done on a particular project. So instead of a large company having to purchase the necessary equipment itself, which will be used for one project and then possibly stand around for the foreseeable future unused, instead of that, they can hire another smaller company to complete a contract with the necessary tools for the work that is required, and then not have to worry about having to deal with the leftover tools and machinery that is left behind after the project is complete. DePin does exactly that, but on a global scale. There are already a bunch of projects out there that don't coin themselves as DePin, but they are DePin projects. One of the first projects that is I don't know, calls itself as a pioneer and quite possibly could be, is Filecoin. Filecoin was launched in 2020, and it aims to provide cloud storage or decentralized data storage. So people who want to store files, store data, don't need to search out cloud storage networks like Amazon, for example, that are centralized. They can use a project like Filecoin, which allows people to create data centers all across the globe in any sizes and any locations, and then provides access to these data centers to people who need to store their data. The platform allows people to get involved in storing, providing, and building. You can choose to store your data, at which point you'll be granted, I guess, access to the network of the different storage providers. You can become a storage provider yourself. For that, you would need to register with them and then follow, I guess, certain guidelines. And you could also build on the network in order to further incentivize the project, incentivize your storage provision, whatever. But so the idea behind Filecoin is to have a decentralized network of storage providers that are not located in one giant warehouse. You could have a warehouse, but the distribution or the allocation of storage to your data center will be based on the prices that you provide and so forth. So you can basically create your own small storage network by building something like a NAS, a network attached storage for your home, which is quite easily done. It can be pricey. It doesn't have to be, depends on your shopping ability, on your shopping prowess and ability to find bargains. But it's definitely something that you could build and basically have it stand on your desk and work as a storage provider. Now, I don't know the viability of it. I don't know what the power consumption is versus the actual possibility to profit of this project, but the option is there. So Filecoin gives you that option. Decrypt posted an article, "What is DePin? Bringing physical infrastructure to blockchain," and the way it explains is, simply put, it involves using blockchain to run and maintain decentralized networks of physical hardware such as sensors, wireless infrastructure, energy grids, and other applications. By leveraging cryptocurrency tokenomics and blockchain technology to incentivize and coordinate the running of peer-to-peer hardware infrastructure networks, DePin is already being used to bootstrap and maintain real-world services. Here's how it works. So the blockchain itself is not necessarily a tool that onboards the hardware, but it is mainly used as the means to incentivize people to provide access to their hardware. The other most recent DePin project that I talked about is Silencio. And Silencio is a project that I made a video about just a couple of days ago. And Silencio aims to collect data on noise pollution, which they then can sell to governments and companies that aim to use that data to, build better infrastructure in cities, to possibly mitigate the problem with pollution during construction, noise pollution during construction, and so forth. So Silencio is an app that you download on your phone, and basically individuals all across the globe can walk around and collect information on the noise pollution in their neighborhood, for which they are incentivized with the Silencio tokens. Right now, this is a very new project. It's still in its testnet, so it hasn't been launched on a blockchain, but that is something that the team is striving towards. So this is another type of DePin project that is aiming to use global access to phones which collect noise pollution data and then send it to the Silencio project, which they can then use to sell to their clients. I think the most common DePin projects are things that have to do with computer sharing, or with sharing of computer resources, and particularly the GPU ones. The last video that I made was AI GPU or AI DePin, and basically that allows people to connect their GPUs to a project and lend out their GPU computing power. Clore is an example of that. Clore AI allows people to access GPUs and hardware on across the globe that they normally wouldn't be able to have access to. In order to begin mining, you need to acquire a lot of hardware. You need to spend a lot of money to acquire a lot of equipment. Clore allows you to rent this equipment, to rent the hash rate from GPUs across the globe. And it's a very easy process. You can just simply go to marketplace and place and choose what you want to do. The pay rates are all here, and you can decide on what it is you want to rent out. So it's a very convenient way to have access to a very broad number of GPUs and hashing power that is locally located across the globe and dedicated towards your own specific needs. Another project I talked about was AI DePin, and the goal of AI DePin is to develop an infrastructure which can be used by GPU miners to connect their GPU mining rigs to and basically dedicate their GPU mining power to the development of AI projects or anything else that AI DePin decides to sell that computing power to. The customers that they aim to address are enterprises in need of temporary big computing capacity, whatever it may be, if it's universities, if it's science centers, if it's, I don't know, miners who require access to larger numbers of GPU mining power. And they do have a structure, a payment structure as well. And right now people are mining it for the sake of mining it, you know, with the hope that this project will take off. But basically the idea behind DePin is the same as Clore. Clore is a project that's already functioning, and people can rent out rigs and GPU power on Clore right now. If you're interested in Clore, then check out the ref link below. I'm going to attach my ref link below the video. You can check that out through there. Another DePin project is the IONET DePin project, which announced a crypto airdrop campaign dedicated to graphics cards holders. And I guess these guys are aiming to corner the former Ethereum miner market, in which a lot of miners have been shafted by the Ethereum Foundation or Ethereum from when they switched over to proof of stake and left everybody high and dry holding their GPU cards uselessly. The IONET is a DePin project that is building a decentralized computer network aimed at offering low-cost computing power. So the IONET project is similar to Clore and AI DePin. So once again, these projects are on the rise. There aren't a lot of them just yet, but they have been around for a while now. But again, it's a narrative that isn't being talked about very much, which is surprising, because this is really the narrative that puts blockchain and cryptocurrencies into real world use case scenario type deal. DePin is really the only narrative that provides the blockchain and cryptocurrencies with a real-world use case scenario. CoinGabar released an article listing the top 4 DePin tokens to buy. Node AI is the first one that's listed. GPU is the utility token. And this project also aims to provide access to GPU hardware across the globe. Rware is a native token of Rware decentralized data storage solutions that ensures data remains easily accessible indefinitely. So this project is similar to Filecoin. Aleph is a new project that was released just recently, and this also is a project that aims towards data storage. Aleph is a native token that positions itself as a decentralized alternative to services like Amazon Web Services or Web3 backend. Its core purpose is to provide cloud database computing and file storage solutions for decentralized applications, dApps, and protocols. So it's similar to Filecoin with a possible twist. Although Filecoin is also doing that as well, you can build on Filecoin, build on Web3 apps, dApps, and more. So that's already here. Okta is the 4th DePin project, and Okta is a decentralized cloud computing platform built on blockchain technology. It allows individuals and businesses to rent out their unused computing resources in exchange for cryptocurrency payments. So the most viable, the most useful, the most used DePin projects right now aim to allow access to unutilized computing power across the globe. So there's a lot of, again, miners for Ethereum, for example, people who have put their rigs on hold because they're no longer useful, or maybe running, GPUs is not very cost efficient due to the cost of electricity across the globe in certain areas. And so these companies try to provide incentives for allowing people access, for granting people access to computing power across the globe, and basically driving those with sleepy computers back to work. So while those are cool, I think Filecoin is a very interesting one, partially because it allows you the chance to become a provider, which is also quite interesting. And there is a simple section that you can follow: find a provider or become a provider. You can do that. And the one that I particularly enjoy and I've been using quite a lot is Silencio. It's a very easy app to use. If you're not familiar with it, then please check out my other video on Silencio. I explain exactly what it is and how to use it, and I go into details of how to use the app. If you would like to explore Silencio, then please follow the ref link below the video. I will include the ref links for Clore, Silencio, and whatever else is does have a ref link. I will put those in the video below for you to have a look and start earning some crypto through the hardware that you have, and use or not use. But so this is DePin, and I think this is a narrative that isn't spoken of, but it's one that I think is very important because it encompasses a lot of other things like AI. AI is something that's been talked about by a lot of crypto influencers, and people are saying that AI tokens are the ones that are going to fly to the moon. So people invest into AI tokens. But it's been said somewhere that putting AI on the blockchain will be very inefficient. What will be the purpose of it? So providing computational power for the purpose with the aim of aiding the development of AI in certain projects through things like Clore or AI DePin is the way to go. So essentially, DePin would be the underlying infrastructure that allows other projects to flourish on, but DePin is the way to allow people accessibility to the blockchain in the real world, and that's the use case scenario. The gigifying of the blockchain. If anybody asks about the ways in which the blockchain can be useful, this could be one of the big ones. Blockchain allows people to be incentivized across the globe in a very easy and simple manner. Instead of having to connect bank accounts and going through the whole hustle of companies having to register people with banks, you can simply connect your phone to the blockchain and get incentivized by collecting cryptocurrencies simply by completing tasks or granting access to computational power or connecting computing power to a network that can then distribute it to its clients. So basically, DePin connects those who want with those who can. Companies and people who have access to other companies who are willing to spend to invest into something that they don't have access to. And then there are the people who have the thing the companies need, but don't know how to sell it or how to share it. Now, DePin allows that connection. You have companies like Clore who provide access to a wide audience of those who need computing power. And then at the same time, Clore provides people with the ability to provide that computing power through Clore. Same thing with Silencio, and same thing with the other DePin based companies or projects that are doing that. So I hope that clarifies what DePin is, and I hope that makes you gives you a bit of an understanding of why I think DePin projects in particular may be something to look into. I'm not sure if it's going to be the next scenario, next narrative, but it will certainly be the next underlying narrative. For the most part, meme coins are basically the thing that drives X, and so most influencers go for the easy bucks, right? So everybody wants to be a millionaire, and that's where it goes. So meme coins are the thing that drives the X platform, but it's not sustainable. Meme coins are the things that will get you wrecked, while DePin projects like Silencio and Clore are actually genuine projects that work, that will be rewarding for most parts, for most people, and are projects that will continue to sustain cryptocurrencies in the blockchain, and I think are the thing that will make blockchain work in the real world. All right, that's it for me for today. Make sure to smash up the likes if you found this informative. Share this content with people who you think may benefit from it. If you are feeling generous, then please do consider becoming a member on the CryptoFather channel by simply hitting the join button as such and becoming a crypto kitten or a crypto cat. It's a very easy task to do, but whatever you decide, make sure to hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.